Hi, I'm Derek Belcher. I'm a video editor, and I'm a video editor. I'm a recent. I started building Gundam maybe in August, so what is October? 2 months, so 2-3 months.
Dope.
We initially started by wanting to do Warhammer miniatures because I have a couple of friends who are into Warhammer, and I've always seen their minis, and like I'm always envious about seeing something that's really intricately painted, something that looks nice. So I was Googling through that, and as I was in the YouTube algorithm, I saw a video about how to get into Gunpla, and I was like, okay, all right. That was like a nerd infinity stone that it was always there in the galaxy somewhere, but I never went and claimed for myself. And then I just ordered one off of USA Gundam store, and then it came like a week later, and I was like, okay, we're gonna get into this. And it's just been a roller coaster ever since then. I've been slowly like building my kit, kind of getting more stuff that I need for like, what I need to just make them nice out of the box at first. I've been getting into like custom painting them now. So I'm just graduating more and more from there and there. Like with each other, it's very like, it feels like there's all this wealth of knowledge that's just like, it's in a stream, and it's just a matter of like finding it. And it's really, really interesting because it's felt like, I've never felt quite alone when I was building, because it was like, oh, this is a question that I have, let me just Google it. And there's always seems to be someone who's talked about it somewhere on some obscure forum somewhere, or in a YouTube video somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just really cool, because it just never seems to be like, unless the creator themselves has curated and made it all look all nice, it always seems to be like, oh, hey, this is what I did with this, and try this. Like, a lot of that was really indicative of just the community. It was cool.
Yeah.
One of these builds that I want to make look kind of like a racing mobile suit.
Yeah.
So I was like, how am I going to properly achieve this? So I was like, okay, let's start from the bottom and paint it to look like a race car. So I got a bunch of like racing paint that's initially used for like model cars and like supercars and stuff. And then I picked up a bunch of like Adidas and like sponsored like water decals that usually go on like NASCARs and stuff. And I'm just gonna try to find some good place for them on the thing, and then make those like modifications. Like, it's like, an alternate universe world where like the billboards are like mobile suits, and his shield is like the billboard that he's holding up. You know what I mean? That's it's kind of what I imagine in weird, like I see it in dreams, and it's just like, yeah. So it's a lot of like kind of taking a couple of ideas from like the Star Trek mythos about this idea that like we can all come together and overcome stuff in order to like achieve bigger things. Obviously that franchise has its issues as well, and there's other things that we can like, there's all these conflicts that will always be among us, but it's always like, one can dream. That's like, it's the whole, everyone like, people like MCU, people love superheroes, and it's kind of my permutation of that, but it's kind of an idea of, if we can pay Elon Musk enough money and give him enough drugs to be like, okay, go to Japan and make the walking Gundam actually weaponized. Like, doing that, because I've been slowly also like researching like diorama things in order to get ideas for like weathering. So that has been kind of gone hand in hand, because I've always, seeing like weathering on buildings and stuff, trying to replicate war zones. And then it's just like, oh, that would be cool to see. That's initially how like, oh, maybe I should look at 7-Eleven Gundams and see if that exists. I definitely have ideas about like doing whole like space stations and stuff, because like, there's like the Lego ISS, which I have ideas about as well. But it's again mixing fantasy with like reality and stuff, and it's kind of an idealized version of what we could have if we could get over everything. But I think that like, slowly as I'm building more, putting it together is very just satisfying, and seeing how like the mechanics of the armor put together, because certain builds like the armors move like as the arm bends and stuff. It's just very, the engineering of it on such a small scale is very impressive. There's a video online that shows the injection machines in the Bandai factory, and it looks interesting, because it's like they're making toys now, but they're just doing practice for when they make like, they just change that plastic with molten metal and then put like small soldiers chips in it, like, and then it's over. They have bigger like perfect grade ones that I want to build like at least one perfect grade in my life, like, because those are like, these typically go for 1/144th scale. Master grades come in 1/100th scale, and then perfect grades are in 1/160th scale. So those are like huge. But I want to do like, I just want to keep making custom builds. Like I just want to keep doing ones that look like they're foot racers and stuff. Like it's like a bunch of them that are in like a race or something, or ones that are built just for like disaster relief or something. That'd be sick. Like, cause that's something that would be awesome. But idealized versions of the world. There's one that we were talking about. I want to do one that's a tribute to anything that's about space exploration and stuff. So.
Yeah. So what would that be?
So yeah, that's a Stargazer Gundam, and that's one that I kind of want to do all these like, I want to do it like with like helio-reflective chrome on it, and then do the Enterprise D decals on it with like Firefly decals, and just anything that has to do with space. Like I don't know. I just got the Swordfish 2 diecast model from Cowboy Bebop, and that's like, I'm slowly gravitating to more space like ships and stuff. I'm working on a couple of spy planes. I'm like restoring a couple of spy planes for a friend. So that's something that's cool. So I'm slowly but surely gonna get into like vehicles, and that's probably gonna be a thing. I was like, oh, anime could be like this? Like, and so I just searched out for more stuff that was just more cerebral and just about like different things, so that I'm glad that like more mainstream anime is like kind of delving more into stuff that just looks more flashy, and then going into like the ideas and stuff and the drama behind everything. But that's, evolution of storytelling, I think. Anime, it comes in waves. So I found it in middle school, high school, and I just loved it. It was a weird, made fun of because, coming with a Cowboy Bebop binder or whatever. It was just like, okay, all right, guys. And then I did my like adult career, went to school, did some military service, and then I kind of fell out of it, and fairly recently have been getting into it. And it's just, it's given me like, I feel like I'm getting the excitement back. There's a scene in the first episode of One Punch Man when he dreams about fighting the subterranean people, and he's just like, what's this feeling? That's kind of like how I feel when I watch anime, because it's like, oh, that's depression. I'm excited again. Like, it's just like, oh yeah, that's totally it's totally given me like my excitement back. It's kind of what I feel like, because it's colors on a cell or on a computer screen, but then, like something that we were talking about before, the hunks of plastic are more than just the matter that they are. It's like the ideas that they represent. It's the ideas that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and like all these things. If video is 23, 24, 60 frames a second, then how many words is that saying? Like that's, I don't know. That says a lot about animation, I think, and like media in general. And I feel like a lot of people, they do take it at face value. Like this whole, like, they see the flashy lights and it's like, oh, you can throw everything in an AMV and make everything look cool and flashy, but it's also, what is a fight scene if you are not connected to the ideas behind the fight? It's like, it's like people who have oppressed nothing in their lives, and they're turning around and being like, well, pointing the finger. It's like, it's very in line and parallel with like what's kind of going on in the real world. And it's like, as I'm thinking about it, anime has given me more about it, a deeper insight about like how the world works, because these are ideas put onto a page. It's not, it's something completely different, because it's like, when we film a movie, there are people acting things out, and it's just like, there's this palpable sense of reality, right? But when you're seeing like abstract animation and like Sakuga animation, and things are breaking apart and humans don't look like humans, but it's just a fight scene, and it's portraying this idea of action and momentum and all these like emotions behind everything. And I think that that's something that is lost in the translation of like actually of a film. But I mean, I guess in summary, anime has definitely given me hope for ideas. Is definitely what I can say. Just because I feel like it's way easier to, I don't know, to sell something on someone with like a film. I don't even know what I'm like trying to say here. Like there's just weird. It's just such a super abstract like psychedelic thought that's that I can't even put into words, dude. Like it's emotion. It's definitely giving me emotion. Like there.